Hello everyone, it's George and welcome back to Call of Dragons. As dedicated free-to-play player who played this game for more than 600 days, I'm excited to share some insider tips and tricks with you. Stick around and let's dive in. Finally, Dragonfall is here and it's our first PvP gameplay of the Dragonfall, right? At first you might say it's a statue war, but no, it's just the open terrain where we are going to have some fight, and as long as you know that in this area you can only use one fighting hero, only one march per player. So basically we are going to have to see how well our Maggrat and Zayda is going to perform, right? So basically this is the fight which you can see, the first ever fight for us in Dragonfall, and it's pretty exciting, right? Of course, I'm trying my best to make a perfect position. We are running there from the right, they are running here from the left, but I will try my best to stay here and try to deal some damage, right? Generally, I think this season will be really interesting because we are having some amazing matchmaking. Actually, we are having some great enemies which I think will be affected in many different kind of merits, right? And of course, we all know how many hours, how many days we have tried to get Maggrat and Zayda for our account, for our free-to-play account, and finally Maggrat is here and we can actually see how much merit we can get, right? This is our first fight and let's hope that we're gonna be winners of this epic battle, right? Of course, this is the first gameplay. At first, we kinda have to defeat the infantry players, because if you are not going to do that, well, unfortunately, you won't gonna have any access to any backline damage dealers, right? And if you ask me, well, you are getting merits from the backline damage dealers, and actually we will see how much we're gonna do with the Maggrat and Zayda, right? So basically, let's see. Of course, first targets will be always about infantry, and as fast as we are going to defeat these infantry players, we're gonna have some free access towards backline, right? Well, finally, this is our first target. I guess some of the mage players tried to backflip us, and maybe some of the artifacts are being hit. In terms of levels, for the Maggrat is 525. I'm not increasing stars because the core skill of the Maggrat is only for garrison, and at first, right here, I don't really need to have garrison skills, right? So basically, I'm trying my best to make 555 my Maggrat, and the Zayda is 5334, right? 4 is on the skill which gives us some normal attack crit rate, and I think normal attack crit rate is pretty fun in my opinion, right? So basically, first couple of seconds always looks like this, right? Only infantry players are being attacking, and only infantry players are taking all the attention, right? And finally, whoever kills enemy's first infantry layer of the troops, then you are going to be the winner of the fight, right? Basically, infantry soaking up every single type of damage, and that's the sole reason why it's really important to defeat infantry. What do I think about the newest feature of the game, which is Followship? I think it's pretty interesting. Of course, we are trying to see how it will affect the late game fights, but for the free-to-play players, I think it's super amazing to try out the newest artifacts, maybe some level 5 artifacts, because for a free-to-play players, I think getting artifacts is quite hard, right? It's one of the most hardest things which you can actually do to get artifacts. That's one, and to make the artifact level 5. Well, I have been playing this game for more than 600 days, and only PvP level 5 artifact which I just got like a couple of days ago on the 5 level is my Phoenix Eye, right? So it's quite awkward especially for free-to-play players to not only get the artifacts but to level them up, because whenever you are leveling up your artifacts, you are actually increasing your damage and increasing a lot of important abilities, right? So basically, I think one of the most hardest things for the free-to-play player is to actually get some good artifacts which will be helpful for you, right? I think our Maggrat and Zayda is performing already pretty well, because we only lost like 20% of HP, which is really important to say, right? Of course, I'm not going to go there because these players are kinda already dead. They are only in the corner. and the main fight is happening here. That's why all of my attentions will be towards this main fight. Of course, yet again, if you are archer player, I would always advise you to play with the multiple archer heroes, because once you are going to target somebody, you are going to deal a lot of damage with like 3-4 marches, right? In my opinion, if you want to be effective in Call of Dragons, especially during PvP, you should not really play with only one march. You kind of want to have multiple marches playing together, especially it's sad because of the archers, simply because archers are mainly normal attack damage dealers in Call of Dragons, and if you are going to click one target with like multiple archer legions, you are going to destroy that target, right? Especially if you are tier 5 player, and of course if you are tier 4 player also, right? That's why I'm not only trying to build one march, which will be fine, I'm trying to build multiple marches which will be playing together pretty fine. That's why I really like the newest addition to the game, which is the supportive gameplay in this Antara. I actually like Ara's second skill, the 50% physical attack keen is pretty good for archers, right? So basically this is the one of the most rarest place for fight, because you can only use one march, but in general, for like general fights, general PvP gameplays, I think using multiple marches together will be really effective, not only for merits, not only for your personal merits, but plus for your alliance, because I think whenever every single player is using multiple marches, in general, to whole alliance, you're gonna guys have more members around, more marches around, and that's how you're gonna win the fights, right? So far we only lost 30% HP, and the next topic which I want to speak about, the losing HP, that's the beauty of Maggrat and Zayda, right? The amount of heals you are actually doing whenever you are fighting and attacking, it simply gives you too much time that of course you're gonna make a lot of merits, right? Basically that's the beauty of the game for the Maggrat and Zayda. You heal so much that you don't care about anything else. You understand that you're gonna heal whatever you lost, right? Plus, if you're gonna add Sand Lizard or Shadow Manticore, which, well, for more heals, of course, Sand Lizard, but for some more damage, Shadow Manticore should be the better choice, right? So basically, this hero pair has even better warpeds for heals, for more survivabilities. That's the sole reason why I think Magrot and Zayda is getting big amount of merits. Even if you are tier 4 player, even if you are fighting against only, for example, tier 5 players, I think doesn't really matter. You're gonna get the merits which you actually deserve. Of course, if you're gonna play cautiously, if you won't gonna be too much aggressive, because you should always remember that the more damage you are dealing with this hero pair, more you are healing, right? So longer you're gonna stay alive, more merits you are going to get. I'm not sure if we're gonna have new viewers for this video. If you guys are new to the game, check out the PvP gameplay videos which I have done for I don't know like how many times already, and in every single video I'm mentioning that being aggressive is not good because you're gonna die faster. The way this game works, that if you want to get merits by fighting, right, you kinda have to stay alive longer, which means you have to play defensive. That's the way of the game, and I hope everybody will at least try my advice, and if it will work, I will be more than happy, right? That's the general idea. Of course, now here we are using Heart of Kamasi. I think there is like a better choice, which is Gilded Crossbow, simply because of the offensive attributes, because I think for merits in general, offensive attributes are quite cool, right? But for Heart of Kamasi, what I can say, the amount of like attributes you are getting from the Heart of Kamasi skill, not attributes, because we know that Heart of Kamasi is defensive artifact. The skill is simply amazing, right? Skill, if you're gonna have Heart of Kamasi level 5, trust me, 30% normal attack damage and 30% physical attack bonus is just too much to not to try. Right here, unfortunately, we got taunted, and that's how our hero pair just died. But well, thankfully, we're gonna have one more, which is Waldyr and Velyn, and you're gonna see how much damage we are going to deal with Waldyr and Velyn. Of course, this will be like the second hero pair which we're gonna use for this fight, and whenever Waldyr and Velyn will be done, and then we are going to check how much merits we actually get from the two hero pair, which I think is one of the strongest for my lineup. I would say Nico and Renara is kind of first, second is Waldyr and Velyn, and third one is Maggrat and Zayda. So hopefully with the Waldyr, we're gonna see much more merits and much more artifact use, right? Whenever you are using assault artifacts such as Phoenix Eyes, Infernal Flame, Shadow Blades, you kind of have to play around with your artifact skill use, and that's how you're gonna deal a lot of damage, right? Hopefully Waldyr will be here soon. We know that mages are not the fastest troop type in the game, but until enemies are here, we're gonna see what we're gonna do. Hopefully they will continue to come because, well, it's our first fight and everybody wants to have some more fun. In terms of heroes, we can see one Thalia, Thandalin, but still Lilia, right? Lilia will be here because I think a lot of players have already awakened Lilia. And of course, you want to use your awakened heroes. That's simple fact, right? Especially if you're a free-to-play player, you won't gonna get too much awakened heroes, and I think using everything which has high amount of skill levels on your hero is really important. So basically Waldyr is almost here. We're gonna see what we can do with Waldyr. Of course, with Waldyr, I will try my best to be more aggressive because I don't want to be this video to be like half hour long. That's the main reason. Like whenever I can see that I can play with Waldyr for like 45 minutes and won't gonna die, I'm not going to try to do that. Right here I will try to do as much damage as possible, and let's see how much merits we're gonna get with being aggressive, right? And yeah, finally we are here, second gameplay of the Mage, and I think I'm using my strongest Mage, Legion, Waldyr and Velyn. Waldyr is awakened, Velyn is like 5-1-3 or something like this. So basically like free-to-play friendly Welling, right? So right now what you can see, I'm trying my best to use my artifact because I think the highest amount of damage you can actually deal is through artifact with the mages, especially with the epic hero. Whenever you are using epic hero, understand that the highest damage you are going to deal, if you're gonna compare your epic hero to your legendary artifact, will be of course your legendary artifact. That's a simple fact. And plus, whenever you are using Waldyr and Velyn, you should always remember that you are dealing damage to multiple targets, guys. For example, Waldyr can deal damage to 3 nearby enemies, Velyn can deal damage to 2 nearby enemies. So, fighting with this hero pair whenever there is a multiple targets around you is really good because you're gonna deal damage to multiple targets and the merits will be accordingly, right? So here it's quite good. We can see there is a less and less infantry players, which means soon we're gonna have a chance to attack some big line, right? Of course, we are not having any heals with the Waldyr and Velyn, and that's why our HP is getting lower and lower. Of course, I should mention that right here we are mainly fighting against tier 5 players, and I think the way we are fighting and how much we are dealing damage and how much merits we're gonna get will be pretty surprising for a lot of players, right? So basically, most of our enemies here are tier 5. Of course, in my alliance, most of my alliance members are tier 5s, but unfortunately for a free-to-play player, it's not that easy to get tier 5, because you want to participate in Universal Artifact Compendium, in Wheel of Destiny, plus at some point you understand that you have to spend some gems on your treaties and on your arrows, right? So basically, it's not that easy for a free-to-play player, but I promise from now on, I will try my best to make my tier 5 troops as soon as possible because it's been a while, right? And in terms of like how far I am, my watchtower is 24 level and I need 2k arrows, and my rally beacon is 23 level and I need like 1.5k treaties to upgrade to 24, right? And then of course I would want to have 5k treaties, and finally in terms of buildings and in terms of like arrows and treaties, I would be safe. So I will not be willing to spend some gems on treaties and arrows. Like, of course, you want to spend your gems on your compendium to try to get a better artifact or to get newest heroes from Wheel of Destiny or even from the Lucky Spins, right? Lucky Spins is another way how you can increase the levels of your skills, and not only skills, to even awaken your hero. Of course, awakening needs to be spent a lot of legendary tokens. That's why for a free-to-play player, I would advise you to think twice whenever you are going to invest your saved up legendary tokens for a hero, right? Because you want to use that hero in almost every single way of gameplay. So that's why whenever I was thinking about which hero I will choose first, my choice was simple. At first, I thought that Kinara was strongest hero in the game, and I went for Kinara, right? So basically, because we don't have any heals with this lineup, we won't gonna heal up, and our troop count is really, really low, right? But here, what I'm trying to do is that my Phoenix Eye needs like 3 seconds until it will be charged, and if I will use my Phoenix Eye one more time, which will be like third or fourth time, that should be fine, right? That should be the maximum which we can do whenever we are fighting against tier 5 players. Here, generally, I do something like that whenever I'm just trying to charge my artifact. I'm starting to focus on infantry because that's the easiest how you can charge your artifact. Whenever it's time to use it, just go and target backline, you're gonna deal damage to a lot of targets. Plus, if your Phoenix Eye is level 5, I'm pretty sure you are dealing damage to 5 nearby enemies, and that's even more, right? So yeah, Maggrat and Zayda's PvP was even longer. Waldyr and Velyn was more aggressive, but I think that's enough for this small video for a first fight, right? It's like right now it's time for us to check what's the important part about this video. This video is the merits we got, right? The amount of merits we got, and let's try and let's see how well we actually performed. Well, it's pretty close, 60k to Waldyr and Velyn and 60k to my Maggrat and Zayda, which means it's great because before the highest amount of merits my hero pair was doing was this mage hero pair, and finally if we got something close to it, and plus I'm trying my best to upgrade the levels of Maggrat and Zayda, then we are already on a good track. So fighting against tier 5s, mainly infantry, for Waldyr mainly backline because of the Phoenix Eye, I think 60k for a first fight of the day and for the season is pretty good, right? And in terms of hospital, of course, 130k, not that much. If we're gonna say that we only use 2 hero pairs, 2 legions, these 2 legions are not even full because my policies are not upgraded. So hopefully you guys will learn something new from this video. If not, and if you only enjoyed, doesn't really matter, press likes, subscribe and share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content from this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really, really soon. Bye bye and good luck.